My girlfriend and my father told me that they had an affair a few months ago. Should I forgive my father? How can I forgive him? Should I tell my mother or my brother? We have been together for over a year. My girlfriend, 21, and father, 54, last week set me down to tell me they had a week-long affair a couple months ago. They only had sex 3 times, they said, and after the 3rd time, they say they both felt extremely guilty and mortified at their actions. They've been wanting to tell me since then, but didn't have the hearts. I always knew they got on well. They bonded over many shared interests, but I never saw this coming. I feel completely sick. I haven't eaten hardly anything since they told me. I haven't officially broken up with her yet, but it is obvious as I haven't responded to any of the texts and calls she sent. When they first told me and after it had sunk in, I left and haven't said a word to anyone outside of work since. I've been a total ghost to my whole family and friend group. My dad and I are very close. For my whole life, I have looked up to him. He and my mom divorced when I was a teenager, but they have been very friendly to each other, which made the process so much easier. I want to forgive my dad. But if my girlfriend had cheated on me with another person, I would easily cut them both off. And in a weird way, my dad has hurt me so much more by doing this than she has. I could get over a cheating girlfriend, but my relationship with my father, a relationship I cherished, is destroyed. And it's his fault. My question is this: should I forgive my father? How can I forgive him? Should I tell my mom or brother? Would I be cruel for completely cutting him off, which is what my heart is telling me to do? OP did have more information in the comments section. OP, their explanation was pretty much they f***ed up, but I definitely did not hang around long enough for details. My dad basically invited my girlfriend and I over for dinner. He cooks a lot. And when I showed up, my girlfriend went over and sat next to him on the couch and called me over. My dad then told me about the affair and how sorry he was. I have no idea how or where it happened as I didn't ask and they didn't tell me. At first, I didn't even really understand what the hell they were saying, but when my girlfriend started crying and my dad looked serious and put his arm on her shoulder to comfort her, the reality hit me. I wasn't able to ask any coherent questions, I was just in shock. But he said he loved me or something, and that even though they messed up, I should forgive them both. I promptly got the f*** out of there. OP, he is well off and paid for much of my college. My mom is well off too, but he makes a lot more than she does. However, I pay for all my own expenses. I really don't know if I can swallow this and pretend it never happened just for the inheritance. He isn't going to die anytime soon. OP, I just mean if he had been absent from my life and out of prison with a drinking problem, then this whole thing would be easier. But he's been a normal dad my whole life and has really helped me with my education by paying for so much. He is a professor at the school I went to, so the discount on top of him helping has left me debt-free. He has dated former students before, but that being said, I just would not have believed it if someone else told me. OP, I agree this is very shitty, but it's weird to see him called a POS. He makes good money and has always supported me and my brother. He even paid for my college. If he was just some low-life loser, this would be so much easier. Relevant comments. Comment. Harsh as it may be to hear, your dad put his chance of sex before his love for you. I think I would want to keep as far away from him as possible for the foreseeable future. And then if I find that I can forgive him without excess pain to myself, then I'll do that. If not, then the man can sit in the dirty bathwater he poured for himself. I personally would tell my mother and brother, because this is a situation that will affect your relationship with your father for the rest of your life, and they should know the cause. You don't have to ask them to side with you because it's family and that shit is complicated. But at least they'll see the situation based on the facts. Comment. OP should definitely tell his brother. At least the brother will know now not to bring his girlfriends around his father. OP, I'm not super close with my brother, but yes, I will tell him. He'll probably just tell me not to date women of ill repute or something. He and my dad are very close. Comment. For her, send her a text and tell her you're done. She can come and get her stuff at a time that works for you. You don't owe her anything more than that. What a cunt. As for your dad, man, I would personally cut him out of my life for the time being, probably for several years, and I would insist that he let the rest of our immediate family know exactly why. If he didn't, I would. That way you can be sure that your family will give you a heads up on when and where he may be at family events so that you can avoid him. Get some therapy. Talk to someone. Seriously. You need some help with this. OP. I texted her after reading some of these replies. It is fair, I guess, to let her know so she can move on herself. She didn't accept it and has been calling me non-stop, but at least no one can hold that against me. Comment. God, I am so sorry. I can't imagine how awful this must feel. I am very close to my father, and if he ever betrayed me and knowingly hurt me like this, it would kill me. I am so sorry. You might be able to reconcile sometime in the distant future, but for now, you need to cut him off. And I definitely think you should tell your mom. She deserves to know. OP. I think this is the way to go. I am so humiliated though. I haven't told anyone because I am so ashamed this happened to me. But yeah, my mom needs to know. Update. 16 days after the first post. So, I told my mom and brother like everyone suggested. My mom was heartbroken, and we talked for a few hours. She told me she was not surprised. When they were married, she suspected him of having inappropriate contact with students. My dad is a handsome man, and she told me many girls would give him that kind of attention. She did not know if he was unfaithful for certain, though. My brother took it as I expected. He blamed my ex and told me I should date less slutty women. I feel like this is missing the point, but whatever. I can't stand that guy anyway. For the following week after I dumped my ex, she would call and text me a lot. The gist was basically she loved me, and I should forgive her because she made a mistake but hates herself for it. She told me it was just sex and that she wanted to fulfill her fantasy of having sex with an older male teacher before we got married. I didn't respond to any of these messages or return her calls. I hadn't heard from my dad until a few days ago when he came by to reconcile. He let himself in as he has a key, and we talked. He told me about how the affair started with them flirting a little. Eventually they had sex. He said while they had sex 3 times, only the last time was actual penetrative sex. The first 2 she just blew him apparently and he fingered her. He told me this like I was going to be relieved they only did it once. In reality, I was horrified that now a detailed picture was in my mind. I asked him if he had been in contact with my ex. He said yes, and that they have had dinner a few times as friends because he was worried about her. According to my ex, I was emotionally torturing her, and my dad believes he is responsible for her. I told him I would not have a relationship with him ever if he kept in contact with her. He said I was his son and that he would be in my life regardless. I just held my tongue. He then told me it was shitty to tell my mom and brother like I was trying to ruin his reputation. I was done, so I just nodded and apologized. I know that was cowardly, but I didn't want an argument. That was a few days ago. I haven't told anyone else other than my immediate family. I still don't know whether to totally cut contact with my dad. Part of me does, part of me doesn't. Edit. People are concerned with me apologizing. I do not actually feel remorse. I told him that because it is what he wanted to hear, and I wanted him to leave. At that point, I was just nodding along to avoid an argument, and him potentially staying longer. Also, I should have asked for the key, but like someone said here, it is difficult for me to face him, so I admit I wasn't thinking straight. Relevant comments. Comment. He's still f***ing her. Your dad is a liar and a huge piece of shit. Tell everyone you know. Tell all your ex's friends. Comment. This is some next level twisted f***ing shit here. So, OP father lets a week go by without reaching out to his son while he's been spending time with his son's ex who he was banging. Barges into OP house and blabs about the details of their relationship. Blames his own son for his ex being tortured. OP asks for one thing, no contact with the ex, and he just brushes it away. OP, this guy is a scumbag. Keep him in your life if you want, but don't believe for a second he won't be thinking about banging your next girlfriend. Comment. His going to dinner as friends, it's horse shit. He's trying to come up with a plausible excuse to still be in contact with the ex. He's 100% still been railing her on the side.